Washington specifically, how they source. We've had a huge issue where we have a client that is a coupon redeemer, right? So you go in, you use the coupons online, and they get paid, the client, from the manufacturer. Well, the manufacturers aren't sitting in the state of Washington. The redeemers are. They go in, buy their gallon of milk, whatever, they get a coupon, and money is made and paid by the manufacturer, maybe out of Michigan, to my client in another state, for redemptions in Washington. Washington taxed that. I mean, we had to fight them, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? It's not enough money to go to court, right? And so we're going to have to figure out how to pay the tax on it, which I thought was a really extreme view from the state of Washington in particular on that.
Well, I think with Washington, there's two things to keep in mind in the digital space. One, and kudos to Washington for this, when they enacted a tax on DAS, that's what I refer to digital automated services as, DAS, digital products and remotely accessed software. On the sales tax side, they recognize that these are products that could be concurrently available for use in multiple jurisdictions. They also simultaneously enacted and provided for their remote access exemption certificate, which gives the purchaser the ability to issue an exemption certificate. The seller's off the hook, they're protected. The purchaser accrues where use occurs, right? And obviously that's a slippery slope. But on the B&O tax side, right, that seller who sold it, so the B&O tax is their sort of gross receipts tax, also reported on the excise tax return, the same return that the sales tax is reported on. The question is how do you do that citing for that, right? Because Washington does want to look through the transaction. So if you're selling a service to somebody and the benefit is derived not necessarily by the customer, but the customer's customers, right? They're going to look through that, and that gets tricky because how much information you have or maintain as a seller gets tricky. And then they enacted all those changes with their citing regime with the apportionment. So they flipped into it a little bit of an income tax spin and even added a little throwback rule with respect to it, and then you have pure sales tax people handling these issues, and they have no idea what any of these concepts are and how to apply them. So it's interesting. So again, kudos to them on one, it gets trickier on the other. My experience on audit is they can be quite reasonable. It's just, you need to have your ducks in a row and explain what you're doing and make sure there's a justified basis and make sure you're consistent with it, not just with respect to Washington Bill 2 customers, but other customers.